Let's talk about ballast. Hi, I'm Tom Kvichak, and this is Tom's Trains and Things. This channel was created to help other modelers who are in need of guidance in pursuing their dream of building a model railroad. A lot of model railroaders go without ballasting their tracks, but I like to ballast my track because it looks a lot better. It looks more realistic. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. You can see I have some of this back here. So let's get going with it right now. I had this issue years ago, and I thought it was just because my ballast that I bought of Buff was like 20 years old. But here are 3 different bottles. Okay, this one I bought probably maybe about 8 or 9 years ago. Okay, this place went out of business when one of the owners passed away in Fort Myers. So I bought this one there. These 2 I bought in the last couple of months at different hobby shops. And I think this one was in Melbourne. This was in Naples. So you could see even the difference in price, but you could see the difference in color. I'm going to mix all 3 of these together and put them in a large container. So at least I have something consistent for what I do so far. These containers here are just the containers. They're not actually the woodland scenic cement. I mean, maybe this one right here might have been, because I had to add water to this. This is probably maybe 4, 5, maybe even 6 years old. I'm not quite sure if Woodland Scenic uses white glue or a starchy material that white glue is made out of, because it was kind of darker. I can't explain the color of it. You might be able to see a little bit on the bottom there, but I have to mix it up a little bit more. I added about half of it with hot water just to loosen it up some. This is my mixture of white glue and water. This is how I mixed it before, and I used to put it in these things right here. Where are they? And I would drip them down. I would suck it up with this and then drip it down. If you've been in a hospital, you may recognize one of these right here, these little wash basins. I have several of these. So I'm going to mix everything up in there and then pour as I go and pour them back into the bottles. And there's 2.5 bottles of the ballast. So I'll just mix it up and put it back in the containers. I pre-spray everything with alcohol before I put the white glue down, just to thin it out a little bit. And like I showed you before on other videos, I use these bottles right here. The only problem is when I did the ballast on here, I used the alcohol that was already in here, which was probably at least a couple of years old. You know, when I opened it up, I could still smell the alcohol in it, but it probably lost its potency. I'm not sure if it was 70 or 91%. I refilled this one with 91%, and I'll show you why. Because when I laid this stuff down, the glue still clumped up a little bit. So that's one of the issues I had. The first section of the ballast that I didn't come out too good. I'm going to have to do it over. You may think that, you know, that looks pretty good, but it's not exactly what I wanted. You could see sections in here where, you know, you could still see the cork road bed and stuff in it, and it looks kind of funky. I'm going to add a little bit more where, you know, you could see bare spots. So what I did was I put 91% alcohol in there, and I applied it with, let me wipe this off a little bit. I applied it with this. Okay, I added a little bit more water to it. But the only problem with it is this hole is pretty large, and so it still comes out a lot thicker, a lot bigger than this does right here. I did most of it with this. Like I said, I used this a long time ago. I got these in hobby shops. They work well. They take a long time, but the only problem with it is I think it's only like a half an ounce or so, so you have to keep refilling it. I was hoping that I had something similar to this. I got these at a hobby shop. I got a whole package of them. Now I think there was about 5 in the package or so. But this slips on top of a plastic bottle. But I'm hoping to find a plastic bottle that is maybe not as big as this one, but bigger than the ones, the small ones like that you normally find glue in. This is an applicator. It's got a very fine tip on it, and I could probably cut it back right at the edge, right there, to get a better flow of the glue, because I know it'll be kind of hard in this thing right here. This is actually made for either plastic cement or CA glue. But unfortunately, this hole right here is too small for the tip. Now that looks a little bit better. Still not exactly how I want it, but it's better than the last part. Right here, I might have to add a little bit extra. I was kind of leery about putting too much in there because, you know, I didn't want it going down in here. I didn't want to have to dig all this down out of here with glue. Now, right where the crossover is, I did that on the second day with the good alcohol, and you can see I was able to get a little bit better results on it, and the edging along the ballast is better than what it is like over here. I'm not really satisfied with that, but you know, it'll do, because I'm going to have scenery. I'll have dirt and stuff up around here because you know, other scenic material, so it won't really matter right here. The reason I'm not showing how to apply the ballast and all that stuff is because that subject is overdone immensely, and I'm not even sure that I ever done one on it. I just have to say that, you know, I just use this for mixing it up. I bought this one-time deal to try it out, this and the dispenser. I start off with a little bit less than 50% of glue in here, and then I'll add it up to about out here, and then I'll see how thick it is, and if it's a little bit too thick, I'll add more water at the top and then mix it up again, because it probably comes out to maybe 40% glue. I like to keep it thin and let it run, because it works a lot better when it's thinner. And believe me, it still sticks. I mean, you could probably do 20% glue and it'll probably still stick in there. The water just has to evaporate. The alcohol allows it to flow. It makes it a lot thinner. It makes it slipperier. There you go. Slippy. If you're from Pittsburgh, it makes it slippy. There you go. So that's a trick that I learned from the laundry industry. And all white glue is, it's the same thing as starch. Don't try to overdo the glue. Keep it as thin as possible and you'll be fine. It doesn't take much. Believe me, it doesn't take much, and it'll soak down in and it'll give you good results. I hope you learned at least a little bit from this. I did. Don't use old stuff. But anyway, until the next time, we'll see you.